here. The program is called Let's Talk. Thank you for joining us, friends. Who would want to live in in a good number of places in the Middle East, but anywhere near the border of Gaza right now, or West Bank as far as that goes, and realize that you could be vulnerable to rocket fire of one kind or another, or kidnapping, as we've seen in the last few days? Can't we get even some basic steps toward resolve and at least some agreement of peace? We're talking about this issue with Dr. Glen Duerr, Assistant Professor of International Studies at Cedarville University in Cedarville, Ohio. Let me share some comments from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from a national address that he gave. He said, "We will not allow extremists, it doesn't matter from which side, to inflame the region and cause bloodshed. Murder is murder, incitement is incitement, and we will respond aggressively to both." Is that the policy for both sides, to respond aggressively to this kind of behavior?
I think Prime Minister Netanyahu is speaking primarily to a domestic audience. If you look at the structure of Israel's parliament, the Knesset, it's unicameral. There are 120 seats, and the political parties basically split the vote very significantly. So any government in Israel is a compilation of a range of different political parties. In Netanyahu's case, there are 5 different parties. Some are to the right of him. His party is kind of a moderately conservative party. Some are very conservative. Others are more towards the center. And so he's speaking to all constituents there. If he's aggressive in terms of protecting Israel, it helps to pacify those that are on his right. If he talks about being aggressive to helping all people, it helps pacify those on his left. And so I think primarily he's talking to a domestic audience there. He's also speaking to the Palestinians and to the wider Middle East in terms of trying to decrease tensions at this point. If due process is carried out, as is what's happening in Israel right now, where 3 people have confessed to the the murder of Mohammed Kadir, as you noted earlier in the broadcast. It's aggressively going after those that commit crimes in Israel. He also wants to do it in order to basically carry out justice for the 3 Israeli teenagers that were killed late last month.
When I asked you about, how you would start the discussions, perhaps, if you were trying to negotiate peace, you mentioned one of the key words in this relationship has to be trust. How would you recommend they build trust with each other?
Well, I think that it can be done through young people by introducing them to one another. If they're simply taught to hate one another, they grow up thinking that. But if you put kids on a playground and you give them a ball or give them some kind of activity, they'll find out that the other side is human. And so I think it really starts with working together amongst young people. I think it also entails trying your best amongst adults right now. I think it could be perhaps different aid packages could work. They've been tried in the past, but there's the potential to try again. I think different peace talks could come about, but to be honest, it's an extremely difficult time. The change in leadership in Israel has certainly undercut support for Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The unity government between Fatah and Hamas in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, respectively, is not going well. And I think in the midst of all of that, it's not a good recipe for building trust or for creating a wider peace settlement at this time.